Yo, what's good, everybody? Roshan Permasar here. Not our Blaze today, but I'm Roshan Permasar. And today, we regret to inform you that you're watching this episode right now. And I'm joined by two illustrious guests. And they shout out to Glosson. Whatever. But I'm joined by two illustrious guests. So tell them who you guys are.
Yeah, so my name is Sarah. I've known Roshan, Sarah DeSouza-Coelho.
Bang.
Nice. Quaalude.
Yeah. And we've known each other for about 5 years.
Yeah.
And I've been acting professionally for about 8. And
Been
yeah.
killing it.
Trying. And we know each other. We worked on a film a few years back.
Brotherhood, an egotistic journey of the blind mind. We don't call it that, but it's just brotherhood to us.
Yeah.
I really can't believe it's been like 5. Has it been 5 years, you said?
It has, yeah. 2015.
Wow.
Yo, time flies.
Jinx.
Time flies when you have fun, you know what I mean? But tell them who you are.
Honestly, I'm not very good with introductions. But I'm Zach Minawi. Don't even know if I said my last name right. I'm just joking. So I'm Zach Minawi. Some people call me Zachariah, if you want, whatever floats your boat. I'm a filmmaker, independent. I do short films, music videos, stuff like that. Photographer as well. I think photography is more of a hobby right now, but just trying to feel the waters and see what I could do right now and start getting back to the grind. I know obviously times have been tough right now, but we gotta get through it,
Yeah.
So that was a really weird introduction.
That was a crazy ass introduction, but I'm gonna say this: sitting across me and next to me are some of the two talented individuals I know in this industry, and they've been killing it. Zach's one of the most talented photographers, DPs, whatever that he's been doing. He's one of the most talented people I know. And Sarah,
Appreciate that.
as an actress, y'all ain't ready, man. Y'all ain't ready, man. Y'all ain't ready for a scene. But this brings me to here. The opportunity we've been given to speak on these mics right now, even in the opportunities in the industry, brought us all together into a piece we may call We Regret to Inform You. And it speaks on our trials and tribulations in the industry and everything that we've been through. So I wanted to kick off this panel by just saying, like, as underrepresented people, minorities and all that, I feel like the opportunities are there, but they're few and far between for all of us. And this led to kind of a frustration of me saying, wow, I've worked hard. I've done shit. But when I walk into certain rooms, I notice that I'm the only person of my color, maybe the only person of color in the building in general. And this is not me saying, damn, I'm a person of color. Give me every opportunity that this white man got. But frustration led us here. And today I want to have an open forum discussion on our frustrations, our insights, and all that to the industry. So I'm just going to kick it off with Sarah. Tell us about your journey in this industry. Tell us about how you deal with certain stuff.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of hard to top, but it's crazy because when I started in like 2012, the amount of auditions that I would get were very few and far between. And even the types of auditions that I would get, they were usually very, very typecasted. Like, it was very rare I would get something that was just like open ethnicity. And that was really like discouraging because when you're just trying to get your feet on the ground, you don't get a lot of auditions. It's hard to sort of get that experience.
Yeah.
But when you fast forward to now, 2020, the amount of auditions that I get are like incomparable. Like last week I had like 5. And
Good stuff.
it's like there's a lot more variety, which is amazing. But I think that there's a lot more work that the industry could do. And I think that when you think about diversity, that's like in terms of streaming platforms and what you see on TV, everything is very much put in a box.
Yeah.
There's very little diversity within diversity.
Real talk.
And that's something that I feel like I want to be part of in terms of changing that. And I feel like the reason I've loved acting for so long has definitely changed over the years. And now it's definitely very much so like I want to be part of this new wave of change for, BIPOC actors and creators. And I feel like that's kind of what we did with Netflix, which we'll get to.
Yeah, to that.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because we've been talking about doing a project for a while or starting to write down something, and then when it came down to seeing that they announced everything with the Netflix, that's when we're like, hey, we should do something, and like obviously sharing your voices and stuff, and I think it's cool that we actually were able to combine ideas and stuff and kind of figure something out.
Yeah, so like I had a question about all this diversity stuff. So there's a thing in Hollywood called like a diversity writer or inclusion writer, where they some studios could participate in it, but it's something you have to fill a quota of certain amount of colored actors or crew members. Do you agree with there being a quota?
I don't think there should be a quota.
Yeah.
I think there just needs to be inclusion regardless.
general.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not someone picking out and just being like, hey, you know what? Let's turn this person not white. You know what I mean? They should just have.
How about you look at their work and then make decision from there?
Exactly, yeah.
Because obviously we're going to have movies set in the period of the 1930s. Does that inclusion writer, should that apply to that? Because 1930s is historically mad white.
Well, in Western society.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we see a lot of these things of, and you mentioned like almost like forced diversity movies and stuff.
But even sometimes not. I mean, I don't like. There was this film where Marlon Brando was playing an Asian guy.
Yeah,
stuff like that. You
Oh
know
my
what
God,
I
I
mean?
hate that.
Exactly. Like that's.
I see that today. Like there were roles, and I'm not gonna say what, but like there were roles that I've auditioned for, and I end up seeing on social media who got casted, and I'm like, and it's a white person playing a person with a brown background.
Yeah.
And it just makes me so mad. And it's not even about giving me the part, but could you not have found another brown actor to play that role? And
Yeah.
that just infuriates me.
Even for some of the stuff you auditioned for.
Yeah.
That's
like
crazy to
independent
me.
films.
That's
Yeah.
Because I mean,
That's
I know
smart.
obviously we know that Hollywood does that all the time, and as much as like I love Jake Gyllenhaal is like one of the greatest actors. Like when he played Prince of Persia, I was like,
Oh, that's fun.
Oh,
what's
gosh.
happening? Like stuff like that. And obviously there's other stuff with like other famous actors and stuff with like Scarlett Johansson, where she was cast into a role that wasn't supposed to be
Yeah.
Western. Like it was
Yeah.
like a
Ghost in
white
the Shell?
Ghost in the Shell, I think. Yeah.
She even got cast as a trans actor too.
Oh yeah, but then
Yeah.
she
She
did.
backed up.
Yeah, she
backed up.
because
Yeah.
of controversy.
Yeah,
right?
but that's the thing is, why does it have to be controversy
For you to back
for
off.
you to back
Exactly.
off?
I
She
know.
should have been like, do you know what? I'm not playing this character that's not like that I can't invest myself in because it's not something. It's not right. It wasn't right. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So
Yeah.
that's crazy that like you had auditions though. That wow, that's there still needs to be change, yo.
And
Real
I
talk.
can't.
That brings me to your auditions. So usually I was listening to an interview by, I forgot his name. He's in a Marvel movie now, Shang-Chi. He played someone in Kim Convenience.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Canadian
He's saying
guy, yeah.
every time he walked into an audition room, he would see the same Asian actors going for the same parts. Do you notice that as you audition for anything? Same people going for the same parts, especially in an ethnicity group?
I feel like because I'm not in the union yet, I don't have that sort of thing where I see the exact same people, but I'm more than sure that that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
And I wanted the industry to get to a point where you just see a brown person audition for just a normal ass role.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be a doctor, engineer, whatever. Just normalize being colored in the industry.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that shit not normalized yet. They see you as some type of unicorn. Damn.
Or
this gonna hit this
the
demographic.
spice and
the spice. Literally
you
a
know.
curry on top of this shit. You know, like...
Yeah.
But yeah, like I just want to get to a point where it gets normal. And I feel like when you audition actors,
Yeah.
what do you look for essentially? Obviously,
Acting.
acting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know, because even some of the stuff that I've done where I was like, I want multiculturalism. It wasn't like, I wasn't forcing it. It just happened to be that's how it was. So like most of my stuff that I've done, there's been a mixture of like there's been a couple where I've had obviously white actors in it, but there's also been stuff where there wasn't at all, where like there was like black and brown and whatever, you know, just a mixture of stuff. And it wasn't I wasn't like doing it just to like kind of say like, oh look, I'm including people like of different cultures and stuff. No, it just happened. Like it just that's what I wanted for the thing, and it just
Yeah.
it
That's how it
wasn't
should
like
be.
me going out of my way. You know what I mean? Like
That's
it
how
wasn't.
should
I
be.
was going out of my way to do it, but it's something that I did, and
Yeah.
I didn't think twice about it. It wasn't like I was trying so hard to include everybody. It just happened to. That's the way that it worked for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. Like it was, you know what I mean? So but yeah, I look for acting first, like first and foremost.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
And attitude too, because I've worked with some people with shitty attitudes and stuff, and
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
So if there's like someone that's not as good as an actor, but they have a better attitude, then like the one of the top people, I'll choose the person that has a better attitude, because that's who you want to surround yourself with.
And
too,
they
right?
can take direction better.
Exactly.
Without, yeah.
Yeah.
Stepping over your toes and stuff.
Yeah.
Especially as a
Yeah.
young director, like, and I know maybe you, like, if you've worked with like people with a little bit more experience and stuff like that, where sometimes like as like a young director, like I find that people that have more experience as me, like for them acting wise, they might kind of try like stepping on my toes and
Yeah.
and try like taking over like the show type of thing, and it's like,
See, I'm so conscious of like not doing that.
and I appreciate that, but
Yeah.
not everybody's like that, right?
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
people are super one track minded and just
Mhm.
want to own everything.
Like one up you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Idiots, right?
I know I was a little bit off topic, but yeah,
No, that's
acting,
perfect.
Acting first, like
No, acting
first.
should be, because like I find myself even as a quote unquote creative.
No quotes.
no, you're
no quotes.
creative.
Like
If you want to be a photographer, you're a photographer.
oh, I
You know
have
what I
some
mean?
shitty photographs, bro. Like my
Everybody
composition
does,
be a
man.
headroom right up here, homie. Nah.
You only show people what you want them to see, okay? Because everybody takes terrible pictures, even the professionals. do.
Yeah, but like as a quote unquote creative,
Creative.
as a creative, I find myself even thinking about things, or if I cast a white person, this community gonna be like, you sold the fuck out. Or if I cast so and so, they'll be like, oh, you just trying to include your own people. So I just find that fine line of me trying to find the best person for the role, and also doing it justice to my own community.
Yeah, I was about to
I
say,
always-
because
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt you, because you said you're like, well, talking about including your own people. But if
Yeah.
you sometimes if you don't do that, who else is going to?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You have to obviously show like your voice, and if people like if you include people with your own culture, that might be the best way of doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I know that especially you always have your own touch of like anything that you make, you have a purpose behind it. You know what I
Always
mean?
has to.
Exactly, right? So you have your voice in there, no matter what it is. Even if it's like some stupid little commercial or whatever that's like a comedy, you still have some sort of. I'm not saying like you made a stupid little commercial, but I'm just saying if it's something that's not like towards the style of you still have your voice in there.
Yeah, like I remember in Centennial College, I made a commercial, and it was like, yo, put the school into like a good light. So I'm like, all right, first I'm gonna get different diversity people, and I just showed their face for 1 second, all chopped up, all these faces, and I remember I put the commercial in black and white for some reason, and after when I got my mark back, it was a shitty mark. My teacher said it was too raw.
What?
It was too raw,
That
and
makes sense.
I put some nice like music on it, and he's like, by showing all these faces, I don't know what kind of light you're trying to portray the school in. I'm like, bro, I'm just showing different people that go to the school.
Yeah.
And to him, it was too raw, and I got a failing grade.
What?
Wow.
I don't want to
What?
put the teacher on blast,
Oh my god.
but that commercial really, I felt passionate about it, showing different ethnicity
Yeah.
groups, and just being that word too raw. I'm like, what the
I
fuck do
feel this-
you mean?
Yeah, I still don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
It's like maybe you thought it was a little too much hip hop, but I didn't use hip hop. I used rock music on it too. But but yeah, just getting feedback like that always informs my process, helps me push further with that rawness, quote unquote rawness.
Yeah.
And it just seeing that perspective of another person saying this is too much of this makes me go in the like more of extreme measures
Yeah.
at that point, because it lets me know I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
And I apply that to anywhere I go,
It's
Mhm.
got people talking.
Yeah.
anywhere I go, because everyone's talking about that commercial,
Yeah.
and it got a failing mark. So
As
As long
Exactly.
as you know what you did,
Exactly.
and you know.
And that's the thing about like, because you've done acting classes. I don't know if that's how they are, but just in general with like, like film school and stuff, they want you to think outside the box and be creative, but sometimes they don't like it when you take it to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense. Like, they're trying to cap your creativity, which isn't how it should work. You know what I mean? And I think that's bullshit.
It's mad bullshit.
I don't think I haven't really found that.
Damn.
But maybe
Well,
I think for acting,
not in
might be a little
class,
bit-
because I feel like in class I get a lot of like, there's a lot of free space to do whatever. But then I
Yeah.
think with auditions it's a little bit different.
Okay, yeah.
Like if you, like I've been taught that, you know, it's better to go too much for like a bigger role and then have them ask you to tone it down than to not.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to sort of gauge what the role is and who you're auditioning for.
Yeah, but also my one of my buddies was telling me that for like self tapes and stuff, like he said that there's some like sort of like there's some rules just in terms of doing it that like cuz you could burn yourself as like for auditioning for certain casting directors if they don't like. I think if like you just go off like the wall type stuff.
Well, I don't think you should ever go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes maybe I don't know. But I guess it depends on what the role is too, right? Like
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. That's interesting though.
Yeah.
So as an actor, diving into roles, I just want to, it's probably off topic of this whole conversation, but as an actor, diving into roles, how do you find the character?
How do I find the character?
Carefully.
Carefully.
Well, I always do like a whole character breakdown and character history, and I find that a lot of the details of the character are in the breakdown.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to just pinpoint things that are in there and kind of make those inferences yourself. Especially if it's a pilot or if it's a film that hasn't been done, there's nothing for you to reference or watch beforehand. A lot of the times I'll sort of look up like the network it's going to be on or the directors to sort of get a feel what they'd actually be looking for to shoot. And yeah, just sort of figuring out like where my character came from and what their relationship to the other person is. And I find a lot of the times to make a scene more interesting, it's to sort of find the opposites.
Yeah.
So like, how does my character differ from the other person, and what do I want and need in the scene from that person?
Okay, so like acting is a tricky thing because I know if I was ever an actor, because I'm a terrible liar, but once I do, once I start believing in something in my head, I'm like, oh shit, did I get shot the other day? Like shit, I start living that life of that lie.
Yeah.
So I don't think I could ever be an actor. So kudos to your acting ability, man.
It's hard sometimes. Like if I ever have a darker scene that's more serious, it does take a toll on me for the rest of the day. Like,
well, it makes sense because you're putting yourself in this different headspace, right?
Yeah, and it's hard for me to sometimes pull myself out of it. I just kind of like shake it off, like watch something that's like more lighthearted. But yeah, like those actors that do that on the regular. I mean, that's my goal ultimately, but to sort of have that mental capacity.
You're almost writing the role yourself.
At that point,
you're almost writing the role.
Mm-hmm.
And for you, when you're writing a role, or when you create something, well, what's your process? Do you try to live that life? How do you understand, what's your process like?
I mean, for like smaller budget stuff, because obviously I haven't done anything past like a 10-minute mark, really, right?
Yeah.
And also I've been thinking of new stuff that I want to write for the future and whatever, like feature film wise and short film wise and stuff. And I do kind of get myself involved, and I don't know if it's like the right method to do it, but like if I'm like writing like a short film or like a music video treatment that has some sort of narrative element, like I tend to like kind of put myself in that situation and like try building the character by me sitting down on the floor. If there's like a scene on the floor or whatever and they're kind of in their head, I'll kind of try doing the same thing. Just like get myself in that situation, because for like a scene, like when things are being acted out, they're different than when you just think about it, right? Because sometimes shit doesn't make sense like when it's written down, but then you're like, when you're actually in that situation, things are different. I don't even know if that made sense right
No,
there,
totally. I get an audition scene and my character has to say a word, and I'm like, that sounds okay on paper, but to say that out loud, it doesn't make
exactly
any sense.
And then but also it's like when you watch film, sometimes language doesn't, like the way that people interact is not real life, you know what I mean? And so it's like you still have to kind of figure things out. So for me, it's like, yeah, I get down and dirty and stuff, and I'll figure shit out. Or if there's a location that I know that I want, obviously we'll do a tech scout for like production wise, but I'll go there and kind of figure stuff out and see where my character is as well, because I feel like everything starts with the script, and if the character's like lacking in the script, it's not going to turn out good. And I've done that. I've made bad decisions because I didn't figure everything out right away. So like in pre-production or in writing,
Yeah.
where it's kind of taking a toll on projects and stuff, and you know what I mean? Because you don't really flesh out everything. You think you do, but you never really do.
It's all a learning process, right?
Exactly.
You gotta trust that learning process at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like I feel like a lot of times for myself, I'm a little bit too harsh on how things end up turning out. But it's like that's okay to make mistakes and figure shit out after. 'Cause like like filmmaking is what, like people say it's problem solving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you have a problem, you come up with a solution. If that doesn't work, you still like try figuring other things out to make that work.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm always a little bit too harsh on myself when it comes down to that. But I think, yeah, it's problem solving.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, I think as young filmmakers come up in this industry, they don't want to put in that work. They think everything's gonna be done, all the pre-production shit gonna be done.
Yeah.
They just want to focus about the script, not worry about all the other intangibles. They think everything's gonna happen on the day of.
Exactly.
Preparation is key in anything you do, whether it be acting, whether it be shooting.
Yeah.
Cause even me now, I write a script, be like, oh, this shit gonna get done eventually. This shit gonna get done.
Yeah, but then even sometimes you look back at it, right? Your
Yeah.
perspective changes, right? Sometimes you write a script, and I know it's happened to all of us, stuff, where it's like, or even when you look back at your old work, and you're like,
I
some
would
of
have
those
done this
decisions,
differently.
exactly.
Yeah.
But it's also because you grow as a person too, and I mean, with like, you might look back at your script and you just be like, what the hell? Like, why did I write
all
this?
the time.
Mhm.
All the time.
You know what I mean? And I mean, I feel like for the process too, it's like when I'm preparing stuff, I do the same thing that you do.
Mhm.
But it's like character breakdowns a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe not for the actor, but for myself. But also like, like I do a lot of image polling and reference, like mood boards and stuff like that to help me build the world that I'm trying to create as well. And it's exactly like what you do as well for building your character. So yeah, it's like a process in itself.
Yeah.
And I believe like one of the most therapeutic things for me is to write. So when I was writing We Regret to Inform You, it was very therapeutic to write that one script, that one episode for that show. And
Which will be coming soon.
Which will be coming soon. We Regret to Inform You. And like working on that script with these two, it was a great process. We gotta learn a lot about each other, I'm pretty sure, and how we thought about this whole industry thing. And I remember just rewriting some scenes. I'm like, damn, that's a great idea. Damn, that's a good idea. So We Regret to Inform You. It's a mirror for all of our lives right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it was so important for us to write it when we did, because we were always talking about creating something. And last minute, you sent a post and like, yo, Netflix. I'm like, damn, little did y'all know, I didn't have shit ready. I had like 3-4 pages.
Oh no, we knew that. But honestly, like what Sarah and I were saying was, dude, you banged it out pretty quickly and stuff.
Yeah, like
like really quickly. And I feel like sometimes your best work comes when you're under pressure.
Honestly.
Because we had a lot of time.
Yeah, we had.
You know what I mean? But I don't think it would have turned out the same.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have turned out the same. That's
we
happened to
literally,
me.
You guys submitted at 7:59.
Right.
Yeah.
It was due at
The
8.
fucking minute.
Yeah.
Right.
You're stressing me out.
We were all stressed out because like Zach, you always late with shit.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like I work the same way as you. I already know, and that's why, as much as we're like, yo, fucking write the thing, hurry up and write it. It's like, yo, I've done so much shit, or like where I like neglected stuff, like my duties to do it. And yo, I love being prepared. I actually do love being prepared, but sometimes your best stuff comes out when you're like writing or doing stuff on a crunch.
Like originally it was supposed to be a movie, and I had like 15 pages of a movie script, and I was like, oh, maybe TV. And after my insecurity told me, yo, fuck, this ain't good for a TV show, so I deleted like a good 80% of it. And on the nights coming towards the deadline, Bro, I banged out like 30 pages, man.
That's crazy.
Oh,
Who the
was-
fuck can say they
I
can
know.
do that though?
shit out.
I can't write 30 pages
I
in a day,
banged
And it was
dude.
30 quality pages.
Yo, it was
you know?
desperation, right?
I mean,
there.
a lot of grammatical errors, but yeah.
Yo, shout out to Sarah for always keep me in touch with that grammatical side, because she be like, yo, no, bum, bum. I look at the corrections, I'm like, this is longer than the screenplay. This took me longer to correct. I'm like, damn.
Won the grade 8 English award, so thank you.
Wow, great. Glory days.
Yeah, the glory
And
days.
she like, Roshan, do you speak English? Like, is this your first language?
But if it gets picked up, like that's it. Like,
And I
You
think
know?
like Netflix would be a fool not to take, because like amongst the they're pushing forward this diversity stuff.
I feel like the past couple of years, maybe they weren't ready for some sort of change, but I feel like now more than ever, I feel like streaming platforms like need some sort of
They
like
need that.
Yeah.
And I think,
variety.
No, it's true.
Yeah, our
Yeah.
script is a perfect example of. I'm not gonna gas it up, but it's a perfect example of what
No,
we
it is.
need. and it talks about not only being colored person, but your insecurities at the workplace. When you work, you feel kind of inferior sometimes, because, like even now, I kind of doubt. It's like, do I deserve to be here? Do I deserve? Am I just another, like a diversity hire? Sometimes I think about that.
Mm.
And after I always feel inferior, but when the days I have my good days at work, people are always bigging me up. I'm like, I belong here. So we
That's
always
good.
need the affirmations that we belong to be places. Because I'm not going to talk for everybody, but like I said, insecurity is a big thing for me at work.
Yeah.
Always will be a big.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I think I'm in the big leagues, and I think I'm a little out of my league at points. So just hearing that you belong places, it's a great feeling.
For sure.
And yeah, and like there'll be days where people are like, yo, this is shit at it, homie. This is very bad. And then I get more down. I'm just like, fuck,
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to do this again. There was like, again, producers are assholes.
Oh, facts.
Producers are assholes, homie. They don't give a fuck about your feelings. They just want their
Just want the
piece.
work done.
They just
yeah.
want their piece done in the fastest time. And like being in a room with professionals, it's crazy. But yeah, I'm just stuck trying to figure out my place, and that's why I feel like We Regret to Inform You is so therapeutic for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful to even work on that, no matter how far that shit goes.
It's like your baby.
It's all of our babies, you know. We all gave birth to that joint.
All right.
It was a hard birth, you know what I mean? That came out right
Yeah.
on the dot.
Labor for weeks. And labor for weeks. Yeah, but also because talking about like your editing and stuff, I remember you telling me a long time ago about you being the only person of color in the office, right?
Yeah.
And people start calling you like our Blaze or
Yo,
something.
yeah, they literally
Oh,
call me
yeah.
our Blaze stuff.
I want to. Can you repeat that? I don't really
Mhm.
remember
So
exactly.
at
but-
a point in the office, like this was in this was in my old job, you know, and I would walk through the room, or I was interning there, but I already knew everyone that worked there. But I would be in this editing bay number 9, and every day just to walk past people. After, for some reason, I think I was showing them the podcast. They are Blaze, right? And after every time people came by me, yo, our Blaze, they'll literally saying in the accent, yo, our Blaze was good, yo.
Oh my
And
god.
I'm like,
Stop this.
you don't talk to fucking Jamie like that.
yeah.
This is a professional work environment. I don't want to be called whatever.
Your name
Yeah.
is Roshan.
My name is Roshan Sean Permasar.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel
Don't
you.
have to say my middle name. Don't
Yeah.
even have to say my last name. Just
Sean.
call me
How do you
by
spell
my...
it? Is it H-A-W-N?
Yeah.
S-H-A-W-N?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
that's my brother.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
The
But-
real Sean. Not,
the
not
real
Scene.
Sean. Scene.
Actually, I think it's Irish, though. I spell like
Scene.
that.
Nah, but it was always like, I paid no attention to it. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Call me whatever. But then it happened day after day after day. It got annoying at a point. And I didn't want to call them out. Never wanted to call anybody.
You should have just
Did
done
you
it, man.
question though? Did you feel like you couldn't say something
I really
because
couldn't. Yeah.
you were a person of color?
I honestly.
am I
felt-
looking into it
no,
too
no,
much?
No. That what part of the reason why is I felt like I couldn't say anything. I just couldn't muster it up in
Yeah.
myself. I'm like,
But also,
Yeah.
you're too nice, though.
yeah, I'm very nice.
Yeah.
And like I understood at a point. Know your place, know your role. You can't call motherfuckers like that. I was always on edge when I'm working because I always feel like I was gonna be like, if I call out anybody, they're gonna be like, oh, this is why we don't hire colored people because they're mad aggressive.
Yeah.
That was always a thought in my head. That might be like a wrong thought to have, but
that's
it was always a
shitty,
thought
though,
in my
that
head.
that
you
comes
have to
across,
think that way.
Exactly, you know what I mean? Because you could like, like if you're just like, actually my name is Roshan, I don't want to be called, you know what I mean? Because that's like a different persona for you. It's like
I don't be
not
like,
at a work
dick.
environment.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't be like known as that.
Exactly.
So yeah, like understanding your place and time. They made me feel grateful for working there because I'm like, yo, this is. It's like I felt grateful to be there. I was like, yo, you guys did me a favor. Instead of me understanding I had something of value to bring to the table, which was the editing side.
Yeah.
I just felt more, yo, I'm in the building.
Roshan has entered the building.
Roshan in the house, bro. Shout out to Corey.
Oh, yeah.
I was saying like the Elvis thing, but
Oh, no.
Fair.
But you guys ever feel that way?
Elvis has entered the building.
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys ever feel that way where you guys feel you can't speak up at certain times?
I think at my workplace, like I like to say I'm very fortunate that there's a lot of diversity in my workplace.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very grateful for that. But there have been times in other situations, or if, there are higher ups that come, I automatically just feel so like belittled. Yeah. And also too, I guess to give an example, I went to LA last year. I love saying that. But I took like an acting class there. And it's crazy because here you go into an acting class, there's like, it's so diverse because Toronto is just such a diverse city. And in that class, there's probably like 25 people. And I was like, there's 2 people of color. And I was one of them.
Really?
Yeah. So just being in that
What about-
situation, I felt
sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
Compared to the acting class that you have tonight, how many people are of color in that one? There's only 6 people, you said, right?
6 to 8. I think like half. I forgot. I have to look at the list.
Okay, but so if it's half, regardless, that means that and that's only 6 people.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
4 out of 8 compared to like 2 out of 25.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
That's a big difference.
And it's weird because I feel like we were talking about this, like when you walk in the room, there's like a different energy.
Yeah.
You feel a different energy. And I felt like when I walked in, I was already so vulnerable because I was in a city that I didn't know by myself. And I'm walking to this room and I just felt so out of place and vulnerable. And yeah.
Does that discourage you?
It did discourage me because I almost felt too shy to talk to people.
Yeah.
Which is really sad to say.
That is sad, yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, for me, I've like we talked about this earlier off mic. I've definitely had a little bit less of a disadvantage compared to you guys. Like I am mixed, but I mean, and that's the thing is like sometimes people don't really know what my background is, and I always get guessed. Mm-hmm. Someone the other day thought I was Russian. I'm like, how? I don't get that. I've been asked if I've been like Spanish, indigenous, like anything really under the sun type of thing. But I mean, yeah, like I feel like only as the past couple of years I've been noticing stuff. Yeah. I mean, like if I was in a room full of white people, hypothetically, like my mom's white, like and I get it, like but I've been in a room full of white people and I still like kind of am questioned a little bit. I'm just like, like, and that's not how it should be ever, you know what I mean? And so like I'm not saying that I've been not giving, like I have had opportunity, but hearing that coming from you guys, because I'm your friends, and from other people as well, and I understand how it is, and like I've seen it firsthand, like from my friends, you know what I mean, more or less myself, but from you guys and other people as well that I've worked with and had a working relationship with, you know what I mean? So it's shitty.
Yeah.
It is. It really is.
I feel like some people need to also open their eyes to people of color and like what they're going through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah.
We regret to inform you.
We regret to
We
inform you.
regret to inform you.
Yeah,
Nah,
exactly.
it's a shitty feeling feeling that you're not being seen seen essentially, because like I feel as people we all just need to unite, man. Some simple like that. You need to unite. And I don't know what it'll take. I don't know what would happen for that to happen. But there's such a divide, and we all see that every day, a divide. Everyone chills in their own group. Everyone, I don't know, and that's what we try to tackle on the script. That, I mean, there's a divide. We need to bring that shit a little closer.
Yeah.
And I believe that's what media does for anybody. It helps them see shit through other people's eyes. And that's the
Well, you said that's
strong
the
part.
goal, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. And fuck. So we're getting mad uncomfortable talking about this shit.
What?
That's
We're getting
a-
uncomfortable?
Nah,
It's a conversation.
nah.
I'm chilling.
I'm chilly. But yeah, like the whole notion of, I don't know, like I view it as an advantage to being a person of color. I view it as a fucking hell of an advantage. But at times, there are drawbacks. They're mad drawbacks. It's like I said, being in those places where I have to be like, yo, listen, it's not the time. It's not the time, homie, to say these things. I don't want to be looked at as an asshole. And yeah, shit happens.
Yeah.
Shit like that happens every day. Every blasted day. So
Yeah, got the
I
accent
mean,
going.
I feel like it's good how things are getting right now, or are eventually. I mean, how things are getting right now, just in terms of inclusion and everything, and diversity showing through the media and Netflix and everything like that. Like it's that they're wanting to show more, like a different perspective and stuff. And it was kind of making me thinking just now as you were talking was, like. That episode of Fairly Odd Parents where no, this is sick. This is a sick reference right here. So in Fairly Odd Parents where Timmy Turner didn't or wanted to look like everybody else,
okay.
or wanted everybody to look the same.
Yeah.
So he lost his pink hat and everybody was gray and they looked all the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's like kind of relative in terms of like having unique voices speak and stuff like that, and like different people's perspectives speaking, because it's like if everything, like how everything is with like Hollywood and whatever, and if we're hearing the same stories over and over again, like we need to, and that's why I'm happy that we wrote this as well and stuff, and are trying to show a different perspective, because like I didn't really think too much about that before, you know what I mean, until you guys started talking about it more, if that makes sense.
That's the thing. I feel like more people need to have have that discussion about what it's like to be in, like our shoes.
Yeah.
Right? Like I had to explain to someone a couple months ago about white privilege because he said it doesn't exist and he's white.
That's why.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. Like it's that, and it's also exhausting having to explain myself all the time, but I think those discussions need to start happening, and I think people need to have a bit more of an open mind to what it's like to be in someone else's shoes.
Yeah, I think like a lot of those conversations have people uncomfortable, and people obviously
Oh,
don't
so
feel
uncomfortable.
Like it's like looking yourself in the mirror and asking yourself these questions about, does this exist? And people aren't willing to come to terms with it.
Because it's systemic.
Yeah.
It is. But also even like I saw my buddy, one of my good friends, post up something. I think it was on Instagram or something. And basically he was saying that like he's black, and he was saying that every time he leaves the house or there's something on the news that happens, his family always reaches out to him like right away.
Okay.
And I've been close with him for like more than like 13 years or whatever, you know what I mean? And I've hung out with him. Sometimes it was basically every day. And him saying that his family like worries about him like that, or just like, or like they'll reach out to him if something happens, if they hear something on the news or whatever, and just stuff like that. I never heard about that. He, like, obviously we talk about stuff like that, but he's never said anything to me like that. So it was interesting to hear that, because I'm like, wow, why the fuck did I never think about this stuff?
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Where he leaves the house and like his family worries about him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like, that's something that everybody should just be able to leave their house and be okay.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's not the case. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like, but that's something that I never heard, or like him telling me. So me hearing that was like opened my eyes a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it made you think about it. So it's like the same thing. It's like if like new voices being heard and stuff, like that's how people kind of open their eyes a little bit and understand more. So I think
Mm-hmm.
We need to be put in these people's shoes, man. Because like that should never be a thought of a parent.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
Never.
I remember just in Blake Street, shout out to Blake Street, all my people out here. I remember just being in that. I remember it was after one of the guys, someone got shot dead. And I remember for good years and years after that, my mom was like, where you at? I'll just step out. My mom was like, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Come home now. It's past dark. You don't want to be outside when it's dark. And just knowing a family or whatever parents have to think about their children, like, oh, where's this motherfucker at? Get your ass home. I'm scared for you. It's fucked. It's a helpless feeling.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
helpless. And we don't want to be in that. I fear for my children. I fear for my nephews, my nieces. I fear all that.
Yeah.
Because although we're not black, we are still going to be identified, put in a group, or it's going to be meshed into a group. And I don't know. I don't know if I feel safe like that, man.
It's not a way to live your life, right?
Yeah. We just got to live our lives, man. Not worry about all the bullshit involved in it. Because we all go through bullshit. And change doesn't happen tomorrow. Doesn't happen next week. It's a thing that happens over time. And who knows when that time will come. You know what I mean?
When we all win an Oscar for Regrets to Inform You, you know?
Let's get that Emmy for
Emmy.
We Regret to
Yeah,
Inform
yeah.
You.
Has to be an Emmy.
Oh, yeah, true. Or a Golden Globe. We can do a Golden Globe.
Yeah, Golden Globe.
I don't know
works.
if I want to win a Golden Globe like that.
Why?
No?
Actually,
What
Golden
do you
Globe.
What about
mean?
Independent
Wait.
Spirit Awards? Those are sick.
I want to win a BAFTA.
A BAFTA.
Hey, let's each their own, eh?
Did you see the speech from Adam Sandler at the Independent Spirit Awards?
Nah.
No, they don't cut anybody off speaking.
Oh, that's
What was it
suspect.
for?
He was
Uncut
a-
Gems?
Uncle
Yeah,
Gems?
and he was like swearing and stuff. It was so cool. I was like, what? I'm
With
like,
his
fuck
accent,
fuck
too.
the Oscars.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm like, fuck the Oscars. Yeah.
Real talk. But did you hear about like the new guidelines for the Oscars? It's you have to have a certain amount of, for best picture only, you have to have a certain amount of colored people, et cetera,
yeah.
et cetera. And we talked about this earlier, but what do you guys feel about that? Real quick.
It's like hit or miss because I'm glad that they're doing something.
Yeah.
It does suck that it's like a quota again.
Yeah, it's really like a quota.
It's a quota.
So-
But at least I think it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
At least it's something.
It's definitely a step. Yeah.
Like for people that chase Oscars, I'm like, we need this amount of colored people in this.
But
movie.
the only reason why I'm like about that is just because like they're like, oh, we're checking off the boxes, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Color-
totally.
we have
Yeah.
people of color in this film.
Best picture should
know what I
always
mean?
be
Like-
the best movie. I don't care who's in it. That's just me. I don't really care if you have this amount of colored people or this amount. Oscar so white was a thing. That's a systemic problem.
Yeah.
That is a
that's
systemic
that's on them. But Oscars, I don't really care about the Oscars regardless. So
Yeah, I stopped kind of.
I don't give who wins that shit. Only Leo, my boy Leo. So and he got his shit.
He only
so.
got one out of how many
He
nominations?
got fucked up by that beer, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, mauled, dog.
Fucked him up.
He ain't the same after that one.
No.
But yeah, like fuck, we killed it. And honestly, it was a pleasure having you on today. It was
Thank
a great
you.
Thank you.
discussion more than anything. This ain't broke rich, y'all. We ain't cursing. we ain't talking about little people. We ain't doing that. We talk about some real ass shit.
So we're talking
homie.
about little people.
We always talk about little people for some reason.
What do you mean?
I don't know. We just like talking about little people on broke rich.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. It comes up every episode. It just comes up. But yeah, it shows a mad pleasure. So everyone introduce, shout who y'all to shout out. Y'all got shout outs? That's a thing.
Sarah, you go first.
I don't got shout outs.
Wow, you ain't even gonna shout out your parents?
To my dogs. This is dedicated to my dogs, Basha and Desi. Love you.
Wait, Basha and Desi?
Yeah,
That's
Bastion does.
beautiful. I like
Rescue
those
dogs from Mexico. You should rescue, not adopt, not buy dogs. So
Mm-hmm.
names. Yeah.
love you, love you guys.
I didn't know you had two. I thought you only had the one.
Yeah, I only see one.
Oh, now, well, because I only post one because I was
Yeah.
lazy.
Which one, Basher or Desi?
Bash is lazy.
All right.
She's actually been like super happy this week though, like super like comforting and stuff and
Okay.
affectionate. I don't know why. Like usually she's so lazy and she just like sleeps all day unless she's at the cottage. But
Yeah.
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 But I always take pictures of Desi because she's like cuter.
But
anyways,
Zach.
Zach Minawi at Zach Minawi on Instagram.
Yeah.
At Sarah_D'Souza on Twitter and Instagram. But shout out to mom and dad for
Shout out.
putting up with me and my dreams.
That's key. Always.
And thank you,
always
Roshan.
dream.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Don't know. Shout out to everyone here. Shout out to Sarah. I can't speak. Shout out to Sarah DeSouza-Coelho.
Hey.
Shout out to Zach Minawi. Shout out to all my people out there. Blake Street, what up? Shout out to Mom. Devin. Sorry you couldn't be here today, homie. Shout out to the homies. Edwin, Ness, Zach, Sarah. I already shouted y'all. Nugget, Mama Kim, everyone out there on the block. We regret to inform you that this episode is ending right about now. Drop the bomb.